Hi there, and thank you so much for joining me. You may well be aware that this week we're currently in is Mental Health Awareness Week. And it's good, isn't it, that more people are talking about the whole issue of mental health. And yet it still seems to be a little bit of a taboo subject that we find sometimes difficult to talk about. Difficult to admit if we ourselves are suffering or experiencing mental health issues. Even within the life of the church, that can be true. If we find that someone has been diagnosed with cancer, we can come alongside them, we can show compassion, we can listen, we can pray, we can do what we can to support and encourage them through that time. Somebody falls down and breaks a hip. Yes, we understand that and we empathise. We ask if we can do anything. We do pray for them. But if we know someone who's experienced mental health issues, then sometimes that can be a little bit more difficult because we don't fully understand what that means. We don't know what they're going through. We don't sometimes know how to respond. Indeed, some people have said, should Christians have mental health issues? Surely if you trust in God, then that shouldn't be the case. And yet we know that it is the case that some Christians experience mental health issues. Indeed, if you look at the Bible, we find it there in front of us. Take, for example, the story of Elijah, that great prophet of God, known as a man of great faith. And he had that astounding victory over the false prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. But then comes a really tough time for Elijah, for the Queen Jezebel vows to kill him. And he runs away. He finds himself in a place of isolation. He's fearful. He's exhausted. He's utterly depressed. Though he is a prophet of God. In fact, he wants to die. And he says to God, God, I've had enough. Lord, take my life. He was struggling so much that he wanted to die. And as we read the story, God provides for Elijah. It doesn't say, book yourself up, Elijah. It doesn't say, you shouldn't be experiencing depression, Elijah. God comes alongside him, offers his presence. I am with you, Elijah. He provides food for Elijah. He gives him a time of rest. And above all, the assurance that God is with him, even though Elijah may not sense it or feel it. And yet still, though examples like that of Elijah are there, we can still feel it's something we don't want to talk about. Now, in my ministry, I've tried to not put on the impression that I'm always on a top of health, that I'm not a person that has weaknesses. Try to admit when I'm struggling, although it can be difficult. If you're the minister of a church, you're supposed to be the one who supports and encourages others. To say that you need support is a difficult thing at times. And I can look back on my period of ministry and remember probably 2 occasions when I felt really, really desperately low, a little bit like Elijah felt, I guess. And in one of those occasions, I wrote a poem which I want to read to you. I remember on one occasion when I was going through a time of, I guess you would call it depression, when everything seems black and God seemed far away. I was asked by a couple in the church to go and visit a neighbour of theirs who was going through depression, and as I was walking there, I just felt, well, I could do with some help myself, but you do what you can. So I just want to read to you this poem, and it expresses something of the feelings of being in that dark place. I think it was Winston Churchill who called his depression black dog. And it's a dog-eared dog that sticks with you. You can't easily get rid of it. And I called my poem Unwelcome Visitor. Why do you come to me? I do not want you. And yet you come, an oily carpet over me, suffocating, draining, sucking life and hope till all is emptiness within. I know I'm not the only one. The curse of your pervading presence invades many lives. But at this time it's me you're dragging down, drowning, chained, alone. Perhaps if I were open, spoke about you, it might release your hold on me and my emotions. Futile thought. I can't. For others think me strong and would be dismayed if I revealed my weaknesses. Times there are when you appear to vanish. The sun is out and all is joy and gladness. But then again you come to me, and darkness hovers over and within. I know your tactics. You make me feel so worthless, rob me of self-esteem. I wonder, is life worth living? Who would really miss me? Would not the world be better off if I were absent? Logic? That flies out the window when you come calling, and common sense and energy to fight. But this I say, I have not yet surrendered. Some victories you've won, but not the war. Empty, yes, that is my feeling now. Useless, yes, I feel an abject failure. But I hang on to precious truth, which you can never take from me. My God loves me. He will never forsake me. In this dim valley, he is my protector. All may be dark. I may feel isolated and alone, and yet I trust that he will not forsake me. I see no light. I feel no warmth, no loving presence. But I believe that light will shine, and strength return, and hope renew, and God will win the victory in me. That was written many years ago. It's hard to imagine what I must have been like at that time, but the memories remain. And the good news is that however dark our lives are, however desperate we feel, however absent we sense God is, he never lets go of us. And although we may not see it, a light will come. So if you're going through difficult mental health issues, please be assured that there is a God who loves you. God bless you. Have a good day.